Nanso so yɛda foforɔ nyankopɔn ɛde akyɛ nyinaa nka mmom na ɛna na se ma fe so ama showers of blessings so to on kran oda nyankopɔn ase na ahwɛ nie because ɛyɛ nhyirama ebinom no na san so ɛyɛ nome ɛde ma ebinti wa mo ba bi ase so to aso yɛ hye bia ma yakɔ na sɛ ɛsan bi na ma akɔtena hɔ ai ma yakɔ wanso na ayɛ so bra kyɛn so a ɛtena na wahwɛ nie because ye kan nkrofo da so pe tumi anase ofa ne se favor ya ode bekọ akọ si edan wo ba bi a nsu to a na eho akoba asem ka ho asem a akoye no ho bibia ewo ho da bia nsu to a na yesu de ma amanfo kira amanfo anase nsu to a na yedi mo ho yaw na nsu so ebi nsu so asobra che ne nam so ma ne koba ne taso ye be ndai ni nyina anya me kro ya ana yebehwe no me di kokko so age pato ene June bosso me no ene na hye na otwe no de ene last but one throwback Thursday free sabre kopim se bebo no de betena se di nkoma fa nsem e betimi aboa pushi Ghana de na konanim na me no ka sese ye ato nsa frɛ nipa mensa mu ba ko na wabɔ modern ababedro no bo Dixon a Dr. Adomako Kisi ya ono na oye member of parliament on the ticket of NPP anya soto Bernard Mona nso beba sanso na honorable Nicholas Amankwa ya ono nso or Memfi a member of parliament in the ticket of the NDC ono nso beba bekan na ya share a couple of issues na ya share ahunu ba bia wo se ye de to no bakwaba
that's it
ona mu boko there
ahura mu ye
da nkopase
ya dom my bosume foforo bosume so de the 6th month and I think the yankopon bo nipa on the 6th day into ye be fan say e be there say my half of the year a monumental pina antuom anti ye be dana say ene gay me know ewo hadom itumi ehome ekasa esre enante we busu eni binya stroke na we say nante ekra no so utumi nante na onya de obedi cry so the word yes
and I say God to be chichire na am say I want to say nyame odo
ni na so utumi ndi kokko
kokko ho kokko ya di
ndi kokko beans anwo
nyama bibiri ya be seafood
wine kakra so a obey
so no so ko boy sense mpi nti unim na odi ko san bia nso a ese no so say ko si ankosi koda
Escafo ya rekakra
escafo ya na ya de achichire ya resa o kan sa ni afa se escafo ya de ni afa no ya nsa na beto ade ya koye no so no ya etaka attitude ho asem ho nse oman mu sanka nsu to ana bibia ato atwa nye nsu a etonko a there is something I have observed about you efa say only an appointment on several occasions over baby ansana maba na na nsu to me ba asem ba metumi ne me fa kasa no pa asem me ka kire say o say na we na me say me ba because mama onko ade e obeba I want to find out baby free any the ya hye onkran ma oye saade no because yewo manmu a ensuo to anase BBC putupura the edge agency be say yenya MBT saade no anase in spite of say saade nesi no yenkoye de sese ye no ye comfortable ne agya saade no as an excuse. What should we do about it?
In fact my experience kakra ewa manone snow atompo no and you know ye nuanum pie wa broche bekacho snow talk round to be in fridge when can say snow atonti unless say so bad say impatemu ana the whole of the state adja to say level of snow na atono upia risky inti ensure to snow to me say can snow cry a powerful change in you. And that work attitude the war amano a idea who here and Emerson Memphis Monsieur kakra free abuche efa and yen nuanum ma to queen na wo UK wo here unya committee to ejuma just on sat and sana with me friends
yeah adanjina e ho no ye kwa itimi ye ne sa with some easiness be nanso so ye ba ha nso a na ayedin ama ye se ye be ye no because
ha kra no oye ejuma ma broni wo Ghana I think say ye nuanu ma ye ejuma ma international corporations omunim say oye ejuma USAID e wo ha you dare not
so adena ye ho no you feel say and over here even your supervisor will feel that it's okay
you're wrong yes sir and no credit in fact ebusuafo team here just about a few days ago na make us say yen komodie no Ghana for p shift bibia only to the small population of politicians but I think that the greater number na ye doors no CSS ye ne how ye njuma excuse me to say anka politicians in some crap obey saying manko ejuma Mr. Nanado na ye me ntia me ejuma for Mr. Nanado na ye man sianguma yi am pass exams Mr. Nanado na ye and I think sir when you mo fan cheme CSS yeah sitting moon sem no you know me say me wo gidi wa sorry komu papa then so I think say o yare na obo ade de dro aba say ginom na o honto na o san ko obo ade ho say o ko bom paye so ma we dro fufura me nti ase so hunti am of the opinion say Ghana fanina ye na ye gitum say one your politicians no see a capadia even members of parliament here in fact 300 in poor or mining 3 million people into your patches nipa 300 no and ebasesa ye 3 million no e say yankasa yes every day na ye tu na mombia
ye kan ene omo was su sa toughness of the mind and say making sure say the right thing is done at all times and also on time. Yeah, any system be any mechanisms be na nkrophobia ya sheda dey omo asiho putting it in place so that it becomes close to an impossibility say onye what is right any mechanism any pursue and
okay o to London train mu around 11 p.m. Mo ifi koda ne sorry bra best 5 a.m. Yupo because I mean and no credit me ne abrofo tena no yesu ne e ban ne sheda ankenye different ne mom no omo ye deliberate in their actions. Omo say no. Say
is it an upbringing? Is it
upbringing?
How their brains have been wired?
Upbringing because you kwa yesua omusuban no ma. I mean
so but upbringing there. Then somebody led the way in a right way.
Oh, and no
so leadership also counts. Leadership. 300 people, only 30 million people.
But
the 300 people are supposed to put certain things in place to make it difficult for people not do what is right.
And Kandia make us say, in fact, judicial services in this country, a major role.
Yeah,
our mobile play. Because Auntie and I make us say, send ye DSM court. No Queen Minim Nancy response be by a many anjo because I'm an we a judge in poor. Your initiation horse cases will be done in time. Entering Kobasa case are better with him now. and then me tie me ya me sisi ya me ya nti enye wo judge no but because of the parties involved no na case no ache e wo court na sa inefficiencies yi eno na e boy from p aye research hu say ye nantie mpo ye se na oko New York se na Ghana for enante efa oba Ghana se na enante fa different e ha no obia nante se no ot in the living room but oko New York in terms of because obia the time na ejuma and abrofo beka time is money
ya be any day.
Oh yeah we dey fan company bom ya na science ban we dey empire body any because you need to apa as obi any try na odi wabro no why na dwen say obedi wabro nti anopedia say make kasa pan dia I think say ye na say committed say ye suni e ban no ye best san kakra say na ye betumi ama impuntuo ana obi beka productivity ana efficiency apeja na etumi aboa o man no because then obi a odam pemu a wanko adwuma enye president na ye enye MPP enye NDC so but ye wo and we decided say and there what that we killing me softly whether it's the over dump but I may bomb pie say ye behu Ghanaian politicians a reflection largely of the people and ye embody to a large extent ye omo ye ni omo ejuma and omo ye di omo so nti it mess
and I say about 20 and I said you always want to be in the good books of the electorates.
I know.
And sunti ema muntimin take those difficult decisions a bit me a shifted paradigm.
O sha sia na ahemfo aba. I don't see another problem. Enti ye bitumi a ABS di kan na ye ne ya hemfo no ankasa ekasa na ye momo ehu se se o mind be ye almost so eka ho bi because obi kowia obi mekwa ni edi asem na embra kwan so abehwe na ahemfo aba sa ahemfo amba na sorry mpenimfo aba enti sa nyema no eno so boy na fama rade no well
because we tracy most of the things are enkoso or maimu too. Some of these things we are mentioning this morning most of the things are enkoso to say there pese ekoso no we tracing it to some of this most I mean sa name abubobosi
na ayamanone no so no kwesi broni ebion kwa sorry poda enso ne ye no kranyame nim ohwe pa wa hwe no kra be ko heaven a chen ye mu bia ye kwa sorry Sunday bia because ode no kredie edikan on fanagement nya kwadro and ohwe na setena mu se no ne nipa edi nkita ho a ochrodo and I na mitimi twe ho say obi kan onya mesumpo nie wohu na ese your culture no somehow no ese etimi nya awakening bia be boy na ya shift into a more productive culture so na you better taking him be very serious because ya nyane sadia na bibia yetene ho na you better so if you keep doing the same thing over the time results now benyano the same and this if results necessary dia then you know say yes say bi e ya brabo mu
Bernard Mona
papa
akwaba
yeja
una mu boko de
ebi mu boko
una mu part bi ye boko
oh part na dia
part ni nyina
all the parts
na man for kasa no adam for bi na nam You know, Uncle Bro Bodunam.
Oh, that be my name, me fine monkey.
Oh, no, but say, or your uncle.
Oh, that be, oh, no, dear, baby, I make a be a minute.
And your uncle, or your uncle. On your Adam for
Bow sell mum.
Russia for.
Hey, why not you know by?
Russia for also Obama said,
Mo Crawford, no money, papa. Your master that or capture no idea. Okay, I brought
out the 30. Anyway, you didn't come up at the far minimum beyond or Yarifa number.
Yes.
Nsuno eto
Bebre.
Nka benya enough excuse I say, and I say it's an excuse enough for you to say, oh, my friend me Frank can change say, and the idea of me hold you on. Then the driver will my bus still.
Some say me you but first my main chair minia doctor, a fine gentleman. Anka obetimi edi Ghana president but
Anka saying
Anka obetimi
Anka say that we are say
that be ne partisanship no any need do my MPP no is making him not to act in the position of being the president that I want him to be. Otherwise he's a fine gentleman and I pray say
you find another day
I pray that his party will see the gentleman in him,
okay,
and the fact that he cut across in his appeal, not just within the New Patriotic Party, but he makes people like me sometimes admire him, and if such a character is elected for any political party, you'll be surprised that me of all, will be tempted to vote and campaign for him. But unfortunately, I'm not sure that his party will lift him to that pedestal. He's a fine character. I mean, sometimes we must value people for their principles and what they stand for. But in the game of politics, what is good for the nation may not be necessarily good for your party. And so probably he has work to do within his party in order that he can get the acceptance. And when it's raining, I don't stop going to the farm. I actually get excited when it's raining and I go to the farm. Number two, seminu wo ejuma eye. Na osi nsuo nti untimi mba nsuo tontia. Mi besa se o yanchini ana. Ana o yesukuri sugar. Say nsuo etowa. You melt. So within ubetimi ape rubber be kata. And so I don't see rains as excuse. But of course as a child whose classroom was under the tree, anytime I saw the clouds, I gave excuse and sometimes ran back to go and sleep, only to wake up and realize that we are in Sonukrampo Anto, and then I'll go to school and be caned. But we were delighted because we were young, we were kids, and therefore productivity should go low anytime it was raining. But growing up, I don't see rains as anything. And
switch about time, man.
Oh, that be since unfortunate for me, or fortunate for me, I started to take responsibility at very early age. By the age of 8, I was virtually cooking for my father because my mother was no longer with my father. And I had to take care of my other siblings. So as early at that age, I became responsible. And to know that my father was a watchman. How much salary does a watchman get? Your friends say more animals to make sure that they are well. And so you had to do extra things away from your father's income so that the family can live. And so at that point, you you can't give excuses that whether the weather is too hot, the weather is too cold, it is raining or other things. So you simply had to get something done. When you are hungry and you have to go and buy salt, will you say that it's raining? You need salt to come and eat. Inti unam nsumu. So I got that early intuition. And of course, when I also got the privilege to go and study in Germany, I realized that my professor will come for lectures. When everybody thinks that it is raining, they come and sit in the same trains, the trams. And then we all sit and we go to the classroom. Ukosia, they don't say it's raining, they can't walk. They get up and they are walking briskly because they have to catch up with the time. When you miss your time, the students will tell you that they may not have time for extra classes or at other time. Until time now, that is why the students also sometimes have other things to do. So the professor must meet your time. So for the students to also comply. When you saw those workings, you are enjoying to do much more.
Now, no, madam, for busy, omukoye exam, be omukoye what's meaning what that kind of exam, and lecture no, from say, in so assay, scripts and this almost have a tron for.
It's possible because we won't say, unfortunately for us, our exam questions are still on hard paper. In other jurisdictions, they say, a computer so. In Timuko Druya, then they unveil the exam question, and all of you can access it through a certain within a certain time. If you decide that you are going to be searching for answers, by the time you finish searching, the time is gone. Until you have to produce what you have learned, and so cheating is not the order of the day. I probably, if they are listening to me at home, they told me that me catch a university for to say they should help somebody who was in my house. Say omuntimi mano exam questions. And the person said that who are you talking of? That because Bernard Mona has friends who are lecturers. He can call the lecturer and say they should give this person exam paper. The day that you tell Bernard Mona to do that, that is the day he will tell the lecturer to even fail you. And I told them, go and learn. Now you're accounting. The last time I learned accounting was 1995 at my A-levels. But I said, I can teach you. Intimifa, Adiano, and I took them through control accounts. When they said, I said, you know accounting? I said, yes, I did it in 1995. I still have the memory of how it's supposed to be done. Doing a trial balance, profit and loss account, trading accounts, and then balance sheets should not be a problem whatsoever. So when I finished, then they said, so you understand accounting and you don't teach us. I said, nobody ever asked of what I can do. So I think that we need to cultivate a certain level of honesty. We need dishonesty. The other one is that you go and sit down, shift your buttocks, shift your buttocks. There's nothing to do at office. Nothing. You go to some of the offices, and it just say nipa no umbra office keke. No abatna say from anopa ebeduru enyumre na wapong. There's nothing to do. And it is that with most of the public sectors. When I worked for Internal Revenue Service, now Ghana Revenue Service, mostly it's in the third week, because I was in the accounts department. Third week to the last week that you had much work to do. And to the first week, you are done with all your returns. When you submit, virtually you are your friend of last. You are on a last movement until you gather all these source documents. Then you start preparing your returns and filing your returns at the close of the month. And by the first week of the following month, you should. So you can see that the first 2 weeks virtually, nothing is stopped. But the public sector requires that you should be at work. At 8 o'clock, you start work. You go on break at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, come back, and then you stay until 5 o'clock on our pong. So, nipa bebrea omu say o kotine ejuma you have to actually feel cool, because one shey ye krampa on fa pen enchro udi krampo, and that is the order. The final point I may say here has to do with our work ethics. When I was working, nobody told you to get to the office on time.
Now,
look, because when through office in term, you know that a query will accompany you. And you have to explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for reporting to office late. Until you see, and I don't see that rush within the ministries. Utimi who say, Bas e babejina, trotro babejina, people are briskly walking to get into their office because it's getting to 8 o'clock and no Munyandru office. These days.
Okay, so we are Emre.
Oh, this is before 1990s.
Before the 90s?
1990s. In fact, 1990, even to 2000, because I worked at Internal Revenue to the year 2000. You understand? I think that either it is by our upbringing, I don't know, book way, we call it courtesy for boys and girls.
Courtesy for boys and girls.
Courtesy for boys and girls guided, and it was virtually about the Ghanaian and African culture and way of doing this. Punctuality, bibia, ewo book no. And by the time you finish
table manners,
courtesy for boys and girls, no, your appreciation of how things should be done, no, na kosoro. And that decay, probably. Oh, yeah.
An advent of something, and also a lack of something.
Upsurge of private schools could also be a factor.
Really?
Yes.
How?
One say, private schools, mostly students go to school when they want to get there. But in the public schools, you go and sweep your compounds. Obedru Hontem, that is my
plots.
You are plots. Into Ukoa, and then on ISA, and you know that you have to finish sweeping before there is prayer. Inspection. There's prayer time, there is assembly, and all those things must be finished before the time. And so it, your friend is saying, a certain level of responsibility at the mouth. Sometimes, normally I tell people that I don't do media on Wednesdays. So Wednesday, me ofie, and I have to take the kids to school. Me sorry na me say omuma yenko school. Dada, we can go to school early like you always want us to do. Until that be say you do school at 8 o'clock. I said, what? School at 8 o'clock? No. You have to be in class. Now what na say? You reflect. You understand? You do a few things, organize yourself. 8 o'clock.
It is not all the private schools.
I'm just saying that is what I think. The upsurge of private schools and many other things is responsible for some of these things.
Yeah.
The other one has to do with urbanization. I want to say urbanization takes away parental guidance.
Okay, urbanization.
It takes away parental guidance. Dr. Ebe Jumayi.
Urbanization, civilization, any correlation?
No. Urbanization has nothing to do with it. We were civilized several years ago when we were not urbanized. When we started building the pyramids and whatever. We said civilization started from Africa, where we urbanized. We were not. But I'm using myself probably and Dr. Biawo. Oh, sorry, Ahumachi. You didn't see your kids before coming. In fact,
most of the time.
You don't see them. In fact, oh, sorry, Yanukrampo. By the time you woke up, your wife was still tired. It depends on whether you even perform duties that you are required to. But if you perform duties, if you perform, then she would realize that you are even going out. But if you didn't perform,
these days you're bonfire more than those conjugal duties.
I didn't say conjugal duties. So now they back.
You're bonfire more.
So when you get up, and even your wife doesn't get to see you well, no way. Opon ekofienu, you get home after 10. Nankorano, omada. What principles is the father going to transfer to the kids?
Now, the father no crowd principles be because father no ankasano.
That be doctor or principles, and which some of which I admire.
Yeah, no,
but doctor doesn't get the chance to see his children. And so, me, in my case, I have decided, say, look, Monday I do programs. And I have to leave. Look at where I stay. So I have to leave by 4 or 5. You will not be waking the kids and say, see daddy before I go. Into Mako. Meko drew fieno 11, 12. No matter. You can't go and wake them up. So I have created a day when I'm within Accra that they can see me. But how many people can create that day? And so we are not able to transfer any principles
And we
to the kids. So you will see that they bring in certain nyoma umakosunya efi baby a one show you obeka say akwa we krampo
they're exposed to a lot of
things that parents don't get.
But then exposed, for instance, internet ni ade ho no nka exposure no because there can mumi no more kind. The one thing that was common the affected more impacting more upbringing the fact that you lived mutu kwanko amanone at a point in time one them channel sa niam no nka internet ye expose and kwala no to some of these things.
Let me have more. One thing clear. We share MTV News, BET, a small portion of America. So, and even in America, no, and you'll be on a share, you'll be holding BET. So, unfortunately for Ghana, Hano, the Enco4 air show, what you say, brooch, you know, is almost a year. Bill Gates type of ejuma no, you don't see them on these things. So no credit, and then to say India for moving Kwani show Hano.
Translating at their
but Ubeko India no.
You refer to baby Samira Cohen. Technology.
Pharmaceuticals. Their life experience near totally different. Inti Yansu na very careful say. In Yemana, ye free amanoneno. Which ones are we picking? Ye picky engineering for a video, say boring, niashe. And as ye picky, just entertainment, niashe.
What shouldn't we be deliberate? And is that not someone's job?
And no, America say, me saying, as me war GSS, not me kind. A lot of John Grisham books, and that time no, I know your law in your man.
What inspired you?
Me and I was attracted to reading. Na me pick at the akinkai. Inti sometimes no, you walk as an individual with desires, and the more in him, and so desires and yes entertainment in you. What desires entertainment will be there. In fact. My main case, some of the world's best entertainers, almost literature students, heavy. So I say, or no movie, what did the movie to her in terms of the acting career to her. Now the own year,
Fano Street, so
Fano Street, Massa, there's a stark difference. Now I don't know as a Ghanaians in even for organize a Juma, your war. A level of expertise in organizing Juma will be difference. Mechanic, Juma saying, Yamina domene is a cars who come her. Eventually, through a deal, the Oye Juma or Gamot.
I'm back now for thanks to Alan.
Oh, yes. The Oye Juma or
Alan.
The Oye Juma or Gamot. And the dear Oye and Quanchain
GTP man.
Toyota, Ejuma, different. And I think say, Unyobia or Yejuma, and nothing for Toyota today, but I think that I'm just zooming on Toyota. Or mechanical Yejuma or Toyota, or foul car Toyota no Yejuma, who difference. Back in the day, mechanical Lloyd, so be a Mercedes Yejuma now. Or small shop will be no yet or Mercedes Wage. You see a remarkable difference. Inti Sanyaman na ebia see bit to me ye apprenticeship culture no see to Mrs. Sano.
Okay.
Na eboying.
Unzena me kase most of the nearby or na I was say doing come off no. Ye bit me ye the way anyway war link there kind war link.
Absolutely.
The intina I was say ye more be procedure on leave. Na who say or judiciary or na ordinance ma ko dan omo. Na wako pension we answer na the ruling no eba abonting. Na afi say oponko no dwane awie no. There na wo bio. Ohun dem chen. The intina I was say amanfo ye omo wan say president be order say obi amfa na CV famra then na e man ye won didn't na was say danning come. Is it because business as usual are called so for a long time to see some of these things a chese say obi ni obi wa asem ana on dem channel niama bebre o ha didn't na nka e was say ye ka say this is the way we want to go as a people. Ye per se ye de ye Ghana card and ye de register your SIM card because ye pay some kind of uniformity be ebeboayame aye niema in a particular way. This is the policy of the government. This is why ye na per se call as a country. Now e bitime ka say deadline the friend is saying 7 predators abomination. On them channel. There is something about it. Ben, I mean, Francia say, and from maybe you would want to talk about dom level.
Well, you don't choose where I want to talk. I want to talk about CVs.
CVs, okay.
And minim baby a mesha CFE, but a how bebre. The seat of government is not the human resource center of our nation. You were the head of the Civil Service Commission. Anchor. Every civil servant or public servant, if there is any issue, would have to have your CVs rechecked. And yes, sir. But said directive ABF presidency to departments, agencies without necessarily passing through the head of civil service. It's problematic. A huge problem, and I think that the people around the president, so man share, they are creating a new set of rules. Ebeha or my Ghana. This new set of rules, will eventually become precedents and conventions. Say it's here. And I hear this all the time. Obeka say, Mama say, oh, Dabi, say, Mama yebi. Say, Atamils yebi. Inti, omoye no, say yesu yentimi and ye. Those become precedents. So if the presidency can order that CVs of institutions be sent to the presidency, a juma be any presidency hope you mana.
Okay, so there na ofo say problem ben
particularly
and a way bit me create.
One, o kase me fa me CV in brano. Some of the institutions, when you are appointed, the president, once they have appointed you, omo need to me bia to say anything about you again. You are allowed by law to work independently and to work impartially. When you are appointed the head of police, you are supposed to work independently. When you are the Chief Justice, you work independently. When you are, your friend is saying, Papa, Auditor General, you are supposed to work independently. Inti appointment no there, the president and able to me say on my appointment. But right after that, and what did you see to appoint the person into that office? When you are appointed into the Electoral Commission as a member of the Electoral Commission by the president ceases to have any control over you. But answer and obey appointment, a lot of background is supposed to be done. And yes, sir. The national security does their own investigations. And can only afraid omo BNI. Say almost say omo NIB. Okay, NIB and some of ones you feel say a bank. But they call it the National Investigation Bureau. The BNI was Bureau of National Investigations. I don't know why we keep wasting resources until all the stationery all the material that were with BNI. We have to jettison and start creating new that we can call NIB. It's just simply waste within the system. BNI was without any other institution called BNI. But they say also National Investigation Bureau, not done NIB. Into which NIB Krampa. Now you will be a fees bank and a phrase a Yambra bank na Yambaje Kakrankodofu. So obviously I don't subscribe to such name changes because they are useless. But all these institutions do background check, particularly on some appointments that have to be made. In addition to that, after all this information has been done, you send it to the Council of State. They also have a verified system to go and check near Odebayano. When you have finished appointing the person, you now ask them to bring CVs again. It's a sign of mediocrity at the presidency. And I'm sure, say, in most instances, particularly with the request for CVs, be a apiahine sami and a deba.
Apiahine?
Yeah, apiahine. Okay, apiahine. Papa na oye MPP. BBA communications person, patron. Anyway, a President Akufo-Addo now all Baba appointed even as regional minister, and a new MBC went to me appointed. All of a sudden, and no more appointing as a member of the Electoral Commission Board. And when people started playing, and CV Nankasa Papano or the Maye at the time he wanted to be appointed regional minister, when that CV came out to show the various positions he has held, from being a polling station coordinator, from there Obaye regional coordinator, from there Obaye the head of the party at the Electoral Commission. Nioma bebre awachuro egu the CV no APA. And so the presidency was shocked. Until now they are calling for CVs. And you should not be surprised. Say, after they have collated some of these CVs, you will hear the MPP and its communication surrogates coming to tell us that, oh, apiahini CV no enyenia or they buy ana ewa MPENSENMPENSENMU. So I think that they are debasing the work at the presidency. The head of civil service should be responsible for some of these collations of information. Then at the end of the day, we can work with it. The audit service can do a good job. Particularly, we have two branches of audit, internal audit and external audit. Okay. The internal audit can want to check why NOA Jumawaha, Monfa Musivi and qualifications and Fambra. That should not be the duty of the presidency. Presidency Jumanoso. Oba Domelevo and Sam. And I think that I celebrate Domelevo. And probably I celebrate the Supreme Court. Martin Nipa Bebre aka say justice delayed is justice denied. But baby a mimi finu. Almost say omo ye aduane na echa and say you will go hungry. It's only delayed, but you eat your food. I say
baby a mimi finu. I say oba e call dry no cha no sisi no ye.
Fantastic. The
judgment was being dressed properly.
Obako Jaria.
Ocha.
Ocha. No, see, and so atoi. That's nice. That's nice. But
I think on a more serious note, personally, I think I would side with you on some of the things you've said.
But quickly, Mami introduce you.
But I'm just celebrating Pato.
Mami introduce you, Honorable Nicholas Samankwa, Member of Parliament for Amenfi East. In Chrome, there is a festival or how many Festival. A day festival.
Day.
A day festival.
Huh?
It's band day.
I say a day
A
festival.
day festival.
Time for harvesting of yam.
A day festival.
And you day festival.
Church was making a
Also the tree in here.
And I move on your mouth, Pessoa.
Just to conclude, so that many a bit me about, I think that SAN celebrated Domilevo.
Okay.
And partly the Supreme Court, despite that, Nka almost see she share near my tema. Maybe baby I yedri and ho. DNT and President Akufo-Addo oyi Domilevo ediya. Say Domilevo eka say Kroll and Associates brought in by Osafo Mafo. So Mombe yejuma mo anye juma bia and the Ghana government through Osafo Mafo yetua $1 million a day mamo. Omoko check here, Kroll and Associates did no work. No evidence whatsoever, Basikano Etria Ekoya. Under normal charges, Omanka say Osafo Mafo should pay plus interest or surcharges. Omoka say Osafo Mafo should return the $1 million to the state, not to the other service to keep. Fabra, because Sikano, you just took it probably and found some cronies and you shared the money. Because you cannot just be taking young sika na ochicha te say obi a ochicha nkatie e wo Makola market. So Okasa no, you know Osafo Mafo is virtually untouchable. Ono no yes senior minister. Minister is nyina na ono no yes senior minister. Ono ankasa beka say wabre onye senior minister no president atwe na ben no say come and be the senior presidential advisor. Enti odaso wo ho. In view of President Akufo-Addo no, Osafo Mafo is such a colossal figure that should not be touched. Now wo Domilevo. Wa be ka say papa no sika me ma pa kwanya say pasa osogjibi.
Okay, so you are saying what you're saying based, but these are the inferences.
This way
based on the scene.
Way and oka say
no, but you are narrating it as if a sad normal share. But these are your deductions, my boy.
Well, if you call it deductions or collaborative evidence.
Because they were all kind of
admissible in court.
Collaborative evidence.
As a tro, and then they were
Mr. Collaborative. Because I work on your dear document. And I mean, WhatsApp now. So if you have your dear document to know every and you are not bitter about tribal bigotry that has consumed this country, then I would doubt your Ghanaianness. But aside that, no, Sana ABC ye, and almost Domilevo, Sa refund no trifimu, and also Dabi. The law says that Osafo Mafo should return the money. Inti Omuyi Domilevo Ediye. Omuyi ni Edino. Omuka say first they told a lie that he's supposed to go on retirement and no uncle retirement. The man had more than 1 year, 6 months to go on retirement. Mubaya, much letter say he should go on accumulated leave of 111 or 13 days. When the man protested, said that I have not read that date. No. They went and rewrote another letter and extended it to 163 days. And this is coming from lawyer Asante Bedietu. On behalf of lawyer President Akufo-Addo, take note that I'm talking about lawyers. Omunim Mrano. So when they wrote the letter, it didn't take Domilevo say Obeko Koto. It took Dr. Professor Atua, any CDD, and other civil society organizations say, Kwanya Mudie yi papa wedia. The man cannot fight for himself, but young, and they went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court aka say, Kwanya Mufa eyi papa no. Na papa no amoko appointing no as acting auditor in place of Domilevo no, and also appointment no and fa kwan so. 3 things will happen. One, papa na amodi no ebe yi Domilevo no, wa ma Osafo Mafo clean sheet or say Osafo Mafo one year boni be anti Kroll and associates Sikana Osafo Mafo Efa Kodi ya Domlevosi Fasikano Bra President Akufado just tell Osafo Mafo go and bring Ghana's money 1 billion Ghana cedis no when Timi Ankano that money he has been cleared that 1 year boni be so Ghana has lost that money. The second money we have lost, they say you have gone to appoint Onipedia. He is not qualified to be Auditor General. Onuso Ejiketuya up to 3 years when he is not qualified to be there. Ghana Boka. The third one is that Domlevo will go to court. If the Supreme Court has not already awarded him. Say, in Ketuya Bia, I say, Omuma no.
Are you interested?
I'm saying that if he doesn't, why? He didn't order for it. But the civil society organizations went for it. So they can go because Domelevo did not go to court. In fact, he took it the usual Ghanaian.
Onono, amiti seno one Omaru Kasa. Obusa no kache ne say, "Dey be nti ena obi a ontua tax wa committee blunder bi. Na elbe cost the taxpayers' money." I'm saying that that is the principle of Domelevo. But that is not what the law says. Inti omo amoko court no. Once the court has ruled for them, we still have the right to go and tell the court that papa yi Momfa nisika manu so on pesikano he can donate it to charity. Okay.
In fact, they can award the money to him. Then he can say that I've given it to the state of Ghana because I feel that at the time that I was removed from the office,
all forces should be exhausted.
He should exhaust. In fact, the civil society organization should exhaust. So we have lost 3 times. In fact, if Domelevo wanji sikano, it is not his money.
Yeah.
It is his money. And I think that look, the people surrounding President Akufo-Addo are digging a bigger legacy grave for him. Grave. And then, they forced Akufo-Addo to bring about the, your friend saying, emergency executive powers. And the Supreme Court ruled again that that act they passed to allow President Akufo-Addo to trample upon the rights and freedoms of citizens. And that COVID-19, that it was unconstitutional and null and void. When you know, they surrounded by people like ex officio member Gabi Ochiridako, Nana Asante Bedietu, and Onankasa as lawyer. Shebebi Amudi Yako Ekosi. Such a shameful act for our nation.
But Doc, I can't say the Bentley kind a bubon as a government defense or
why defense? Why not support?
I'm of a different opinion, Kakra. In the sense,
but you started agreeing with me. Go
no,
back.
What can
say? Also agree. They all can. They all can agree. Is it you agree?
I think, say, as a president of the Republic of the country, if our interest in the curriculum vitae and our resumes of staff members are, I don't think say BBC quite. Maybe I know by appointed for something, and there's nothing that stops him.
All the people that they are requesting for, they want to appoint them.
Oh, Mr. Abia, you need
the people are already appointed within the electoral commission. You want to reappoint them, reappoint them.
Also top. If your mom be at a different
at the electoral commission.
Other than electoral commission,
because Omodiano
electoral commission,
say me cite apia.
But do you know
as that the president and the team?
Why not the others?
The president and the team.
Okay,
did
so
a
let's
very
expand
poor job.
it. Let's expand it.
A soldier that concentrates on the remote enemy falls before the immediate one. We have an immediate one, which is
so now you Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi,
a distinguished
your friend, your revered friend.
He would have been my revered friend.
As I'm making, if the president of the Republic of the country, I and I so review CVs, and like I said, if you see the quite say be of one more a different position, because quite a big Domlevo Sama okay say when your appointment for the different institutions.
So it's a blessing in disguise.
Exactly. Into media, once a president here appointing authority, now in his wisdom, no, or say even say president can say all MPs and far almost even, but I'll be first in line to take mine because
only MPs because Muna will wait me appoint him. But he cannot request for the CVs of MPs without his party to do what?
That's ECOWAS Parliament, or sometimes he has influence.
President appoints people to ECOWAS Parliament. You are telling us, catch there and say the president influences. Oh, sir.
More influence. And I
say ECOWAS Parliament should give you Pan-African Parliament.
So
this is a decision of the
Parliament.
But
that is not what we are discussing.
It's a decision of Parliament, not the decision of the executive.
And I also think, as the President of the Republic, also who the strength in terms of people who handle institutions are. So Binya a summary report of the human capital he has. Because all of these appointees are...
Could he have taxed to say they now can be to say SIGA and other agencies to do that for him?
No, not say either way. At the end of the day, we'll come back to presidency. So even so, catch civil servants, catch head of civil servants, only say draw here. At the end of the day, I come back to presidency. Catch BNI for someone say draw here. At the end of the day, and you're honorable.
But Ubetim Kasadi are shout to say the no say. They are sending appropriate agencies via or may cut out for Niema Bia, let them do it so that it doesn't look like it is the president in the person
I don't have a problem with that. But no, they may make person make sister say she and let me also say on authority say the president can say minority leader and fan receiving bra. There's a world institution be president is supposed to make a recommendation for somebody.
But this thing, is it a request or is it a request or is it an order?
It's an order.
Oh,
it's an order.
I don't think so.
Even if you want to do
so one farm back, you will be the
Papa is the president, minority leader, and receiving bra. Obeka the minority leader say so and so
that is why me bisa a question and say a request and answer order because this we say no.
Once my catcher say he's a gentleman, but partisanship in him, it makes him sometimes.
That's the way they may my alternative thinking. That is what I'm trying to do here. Say, Abia na wondering say president no in his purview no. Abia for all you know, CNN person or more interview EC4. President
and they will come to rule the president.
Mr. wouldn't I am of the opinion when the president of the republic is asking for CVs, then say Ochinokasi all heads of institutions to say tertiary institutions and for receiving back in terms of what was because who named there a free member? Abi crown up in California to Quine Aqua America and I say Europe. You don't know. What was the president there or Cassie for Ambra in terms of and you'll be an president
it's even an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
All right. Okay. Honorable Nicholas.
Who will see your president on that? But you can admit, say president after receiving move. Massa, it's a plus.
All right. Okay. Honorable Nicholas.
You never know. You never know.
Thank you. Now, I really admire him very, very, very well. He's a quiet gentleman, dog, chairman. So, and I'm in Chia here 4 years for. I'm in Chia, I'm a constituent. I'm in Fee East. Nananum Obibia, party executive, sir.
Madame for Costello, so be too.
Oh, sorry, I'm so urban. You were there wrapping your wife's buttocks.
That photo be jam on that slide.
Honorable, who say I'm coming from Kaswa. Into any natural course, road now block it. So you raise people are coming for a motorbike. It's already a fine chairman.
I think there's some embankment. It's serious.
Costello is a very good friend. And I would say they are motivated because of what I'm doing. Because I'm in fees never had hardly say remember youth opportunity. But a former minister of local government, Honorable Akosio Pomfoso, he was a former MP. And I had opportunity to serve as DC when he was MP. That was 2016. Yeye Juma, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Yeye Juma. Enti minya akwenya na bebe MP no. Ama attractive youths into show more na almost by almost all of them youth. But say experience o I yonko farmer drama kwe.
Sa. I be out oye tell I be go find am beche.
Maybe mo so me hwe. So me ya gana for do way.
Anyway, me ka che no.
Eti yet was na me starting from baby a dog here. Who say na dog struggle kakra enyo no a. Ushe na nadu na memwe ya. Aya na me wan say he being a lawyer. No normal way koso. I don't know the legacy you want to leave. Ebi a legacy ni say yenya lawyer mani bedi eni ba no fam bra anya adwuma. As a leader, Oba, you have to empower the institutions. It's the more reason why you want institutions. Oko some institution like local government, for instance, because Honorable Pomfoso was then the local government, they mean access to people. Oko unity be like we share experience will be enya no wa. Say we you know now the politics ban one now how or mine because people they have institutional memories. I worked at Takwanswayem Municipal Assembly.
What's politics got to do with civics?
Politics has got to do with civics because, as I stated earlier, a Juma we any Public Service Commission a Juma. They are institutional. Almost share this civics move, and also my munsua. We share your constitutional and statutory bodies. The framers of this constitution, almost that dream will say electoral commission. Ghana Sumgre, Ghana can no. To do an electoral commission so and until at the framers of the constitution it is shame say article 46 and more their independence nature operation no so we party A party B no that article 46 need prevents you from interfering in their activities independent body and until I am is it the commissioner? Or yeah, they almost say they are hiding behind independent. So Nanado should empower the state institutions like a public commission for no money.
Violent.
Go into now the Nanado ye do be to me a car for one they say and Nanado ye no and yes she and they say witch hunting. And I'm be pursue to towards election 2024 because when him said they've already lost it. What is happening in this country is very bad.
Why should a monkey? I didn't know say a monkey. You see, you have a far uncrofa mama kosuanchini. You know time. You have a far no monkey as a means to anchini bia. The intina.
Anya media no media fine monkey.
Oh yeah, nana. Nice.
Oh yeah, nana.
Because Monfa CVs in say you be penko for your money. Why should we?
CVs anya money, but this CV was directly coming from the presidency. Also, several CVs has been given out. That's Andrea. I was watching a networker. Obi Embarazeno or officer, one of the units, or the CV by. But that was not directly coming from the presidency.
Okay.
But the one about ECDNO, it was directly coming from the presidency, and which is Nyene Juma no. So we say Adena Isinkwa, and you being a lawyer no, Article 46 of the Constitution should guide you in your dealings with the Electoral Commission. Because I'm saying I see the senior K. You are also nyaya or whatever commission way. Media for kind, and yes, said the body moon. Then say Ghana benye asomdwe because the peace we are enjoying here today is priceless. And as a government, Obana performing, you need not to interfere in the activities of the state institutions. Look at the embarrassment and another Diablo mind. It's not only to himself and the party, Ghana as a state. Because this is the government, he promised to protect the public purse. He promised to use state institutions in fighting corruption. No single body in this country, because or support, corrupt activities. Now we share the other year, and look at the upcoming.
Before Oba Domlevo, see, easy there now Mokano. You have accused him of, and I say, yeah, Ghana for no, I accuse him, say, Wakofo be or yeah, dying a party person, say, or may referee. Oh, them channel. Now, Grofo, I can't say the na Bernard can say people have cited a certain CV, actually say, party Juma or ye in no can CV. Now, the president say, me that's what you see there. I still have the opportunity, say, my assignment. Monfa musiv him ra.
No, the another way, no. The question is, we say, in some Ghana for Kafan was this year. Your His Excellency, late what is it, Rollins. You can't wait for now. Late Professor Moss, you can't wait for now. In connection with the dealings with the EC, President Kufuor, you can't wait for now. So why me? And you know because an appointment Ghana Hana I'm here with Doctor. He's representing his party and representing his constituents. Into a tamba near the Nico sensitive area beer. You who said that area is preserved for people who are not deep into politics. Ghanaians will speak to that. And no man abemun. Into who say na ebani say no more can the root cause. Ebani say so say the whole Ghana when you be say okofa the party niya eye known eye nipempa na ka omo be am original minister no now he was part of the aspirant or the candidate. So Nanado has cost it all. And it is not his right to write directly to the EC. We have the HR. And the Juma Hono is saying, a state institution, saying. So why? Maybe problem they say, Nanado being a lawyer, no? And yes or yes, I do. I didn't know when you go MPP and Ononkwani Rabaumi anymasi, you go Ghana anymasi. Because what legacy is Nanado leaving behind? If I'm to travel outside, now me say me fi Ghana, and why is the president interfering in the activities of the EC? How do I defend it? Meanwhile, the basic constitution obi owo wako mokola ebi kwa even JHS kra he knows the independence of the electoral commission. So why is the president interfering in the activities? That's the question Ghana for the about. So he can assign to as senior kind. We have investigative body, we have audit units in this country. Then they bring it to you as a leader. But it should be done. Coincide with the ruling from the Supreme Court on issue. As saying another, the BBR country. So what legacy is he leaving behind? Legacy is say, ono the oba or your lawyer, but on farm brand juma. A transforming into all the various institutions, and until a man minister in charge of finance, or to me state fund without seeking parliamentary approval. If the president is doing this, is the more reason why a minister in charge of health, COVID-19 by, or to me procurement, would that going, in line with the procurement law? Because this is what the president is doing. But if we have a leader, now, Emrana, Obi Fuma, you bring the person to order. Now, mind you, as a dog, or MPP ni, chairman, so, Mesumu NDC. But we are building a common nation. And the common nation is protected. Into the man and not know ya no and ya, because the peace we are enjoying today is priceless. And another should know, say, look at what he did to Domlevo. Maybe he was saying, say, I'm the president, I have the power to do everything. But we have institutions to check that. Nobody is above the law. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court has done. And I see a boy and Sam at the Mahomo.
And then you see a boy and Sam Supreme Court.
Oh,
no, maybe some
dog, I see a boy
and then young boy and Sam
based on what they've done. Dog, in your constituency, dog, even your own party a debut or hard dog you as you are aware, I mean, reformed, refined. I know him. I mean, I may admire from far power. Osh a very quiet person. Maybe I'm not
quiet. To
me, how I know him, that's how
quiet.
Okay, sir.
I like
quiet to
it.
the man for quiet to the
Sir, in our parliament, I can't be a quiet as you bunyo. The hundred.
Quiet to the on your quiet.
It's a dog. But even in your deal, you know, a debut how by idea and your papa. We are the son papa and see a ball abaso. It doesn't also make sense Supreme Court, no, they are always right in their dealings. And then Dr. Vodier, you know,
that be to say me. I've gone to Supreme Court. There are cases that the Supreme Court ruled for me. There are some cases the Supreme Court ruled, and up to date, I still want to find out the common sense rationality for the ruling.
When you're full, we're not reasoning.
That be particularly including the Chief Justice nominee Ekokanye. The Bisano issue about birth certificate. And of course, a birth certificate only indicates where you have born. It doesn't indicate your citizenship. I felt scandalized. Because so far birth certificate now, it doesn't indicate only where you are born. It also indicates your parentage. When ewo edumaku kisi, oni mami we ene ewo, and yes sir, that determines your locus and a baby ofi. In other places, yes, the place you are born can then be used as your place of origin. In our case, it also indicates your parentage in an Okoshe citizenship in the Constitution. It's very clear that when or if any of your parents or grandparent is or was a Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian. Until when the birth certificate indicates who your parents are.
On the face of the
on the face of it, it doesn't show.
You can't determine.
On the face of it, it shows your parentage.
Yeah, by your parentage, and then we can say Togo for kita Ghana di, and a Ghana for biso kita.
Man, can say udinwo.
No, say parentage.
Your parentage.
Parentage.
The parentage of your father, if infant or father, if he, all those things are stated in the birth certificate. Yes.
As part of the details.
As part of the details, it's stated there. So it indicates maybe our. That is if it's a Ghana near by your constitution or your Ghana.
When you go to Takwa, Nigerians be brave.
That be and yes, Nigerians make call Bibiano Honmo and Papa be Obaye. Or no, Nana is a Ghanaian. But Okita Niger din yafe Nigeria. Okwa kochro ni din ewo Ghana card mu no. Omo say Nigeria de onya Ghana ni. Inti ezonato oye Ghana din.
No ewe.
Oye Japanese. The name ezonato is a Japanese name.
Oh, okay.
But she's a Ghanaian.
Ezonato.
Yes.
So
yeah.
First,
but a lot of
those
names
yes.
Walter.
You know, understand?
Has German names.
But dog, I think that
so you cannot use those things. Inti say Supreme Court judge Ebeka say birth certificate is not to be used as an attestation. Na say me kwa akoye Ghana card. Na birth certificate is required for me to come and do Ghana card. It is the primary document.
One of.
It's the primary document. Okwa akoye your passport. Birth certificate is a primary document. Now, ubetimi passport.
Okay, it is one of the documents.
That be, your passport is your primary document.
Ghana card. Birth certificate is one of the.
Okakoye, your friends. That me see everything. Birth cert is a primary document. Which other document is primary? So Okakofa Ghana card. Okakofa Ghana card. That's a secondary.
You agree that opinions are like noses.
And I'm saying that when such decisions are made, that Ghana card is a determinant of your citizenship.
No, it isn't.
And in America, Supreme Court can, because if the Constitution says that to be qualified to be a voter, you must be a Ghanaian. You must be a citizen of Ghana, 18 years and above. Now, Electoral Commission, say, answer, and you come and register your name, you must have only Ghana card or passport. Me say Ghana card or passport. The last one we did was Ghana card and passport. And now, Okofa eno as the basis for which I am qualified to be a voter, it implies that the basis is that Ghana card and passports determines my citizenship. Yeah. And the Supreme Court could not have made that mistake.
All right. Okay. So, not one who has a sorrow.
It's not made him no see no. He said, Nanado Dankwa, Sisiana, no more. He said, he's trying to, he's usurging the powers of the public commission, of which, as a president, he rather needs to encourage the institutions. So, obey your mujuma. Because Ghana be develop we need institutions on board. Like when I was DC, for instance, what about technocrats? Even though I was coming from Takwa as a technocrat, as internal audit assistant. But technocrats, you are a political head. You know nothing about the job. Who as a political head appoint to as DC, the technical winning, you need a technocrat to guide you. So if you are not empowering the technocrats, no one out of power, those who need to be promoted because of political experience, no demoting. It hasn't encouraged the people to give out their best.
You feel so as a president, Chiremudi into our GCVs now.
Yeah, here's explanation from the president. No, we don't need explanation.
Because that's it, we are all conjecturing. That's it, we are speculating. Say,
speculating what?
No, we are not speculating.
Which
no. It's witch hunting.
Witch hunting.
That's how
you think there is no any.
There's no witch hunting.
My man additional view here, and they cannot take that away from me. Maybe point is
sir, he wants to appoint them to some institution.
President has every right.
Do you think say it can start the morning and I say you can say omuka say wa appoint mo nipa MPP nipa de abeka isi hono because they say yeah no be there kosi isi nkwaso isi ba mu no eh kwan offer so there sign it 3 there free say yes your MPP to say the ban kana.
Well, let me mami enka say we are being premature in judging the president.
Couldn't he have saved us from Saddam?
In a sense, when there's a premature birth, you have to do premature surgery.
Steve, let
that come from a doctor. Let that come from a medical doctor.
You name necessarily the entire president agency. For all you know, Krano, it can be about something that you're totally unaware. What will happen, because say a witch hunting after all of this is said and done, we can come back to the fact that any president NGC even now and then. I really think that maybe like I said, there might be an opportunity out there. I'll consider electoral commission for. You don't know, and he has every right. Any institution, President to me, as Zumi on say, tertiary fono or Hena were appointed tertiary for to something because the caliber of people are met me a handle. So or did any see IGP force so day? You don't know.
Unfortunately, I was say this year.
Pato, just an African story. When you say Ousmane Sonko, the opposition leader of Senegal, in my view, the next president of Senegal, with all the Trump-up charges by Macky Sall and his team,